I'm Ramesh Aravind. I'm as thrilled as you are. ನನಗಂತೂ ಬಹಳ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. I mean, it's one of its kind. I've never had a meeting like this. Go to many events, lot of things I do, but this is unique. I think I'm going to enjoy myself today.
Use all the space, sir.
Yeah, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. So, Bala, out of the blue, Raghu called about 4-5 days back, and we just connected. See, some things happen like that, Abba. Some things you plan for years, it never happens. He calls about 4 days back, next day we are on, and then yesterday there is an issue, they're not able to do it at 11 o'clock, he says 8 p.m., I said okay, no, 8 a.m., I said okay, and all of you are here. I'm surprised. This is the time you guys are supposed to start sleeping. How come you are awake and you are terrific? Oh, great. And often, like, I mean, just a casual conversation, because I just came and I told you a lot of Krishna Janmashtami messages today. Then I realized today is Krishna Janmashtami, Gokulashtami. Okay, so this is very interesting story about, probably the story is 60-65 years old. Some of you might know, some of you might not. So let me repeat it. I mean, a paraphrased version, it is not the original story. It came as Michelangelo originally, as in Reader's Days as a short story. It was then rehashed into various things. It was called Rupadarshi in Kannada as a novel. Forget all that. Anyway, the basis of this is this. There's a king who wants to draw Krishna killing Kamsa. You know the famous story, right? Krishna killed Kamsa. Kamsa Vadana idala. Adana he wants to make it a painting. That's his dream. On Gokulashtami day he wants the painting done. So he approaches the greatest painter in that area and says, I want this. The painter says, I'll do it, sir, but then I need a model. I don't do it out of imagination. I need a guy who looks exactly like Krishna. I need a guy whom I should feel is Kamsa. You get those two guys, I'll draw a painting for you. So they start looking around, they see a kid playing. They feel this guy is Krishna. There is innocence, okay, that is Krishna. If this boy opens his mouth, you will see the universe inside. Okay, that kind of a guy he is. So they get the guy and the painter draws the Krishna portion of the painting. He is very happy. Now he wants Kamsa. Where do you get Kamsa? The king says there's a jail here, okay, all the loafers in the town are there. You go and have a look. I'm sure the Kamsa is there. So the painter goes there, looks at all the convicts, he's the biggest rowdies in the land. And says, no sir, they are not 100% evil. I want 100% evil. I want Kamsa, true Kamsa. Then the king says, go to the neighboring land. They go to the neighboring land, they go to a jail there, look at everybody. Again the painter says, no sir, this is not Kamsa. I want 100% evil. They keep on looking all over the world. Years roll by, they are not able to find true evil. They're not able to find a Kamsa at all. 25 years pass away. Finally, this painter is walking down Chambal Valley. There he sees a dacoit who comes on the way and says, now give me all your stuff. And this guy says, my God, this guy is my Kamsa. He just falls at his feet and says, take whatever you want. I have a king. He will give you half the kingdom. You please come with me. I want to finish my dream project. So they bring this guy here, a true evil guy. They get into the studio. They make him sit there. This guy starts painting. That guy starts crying and he says, sir, 25 years back, I was the kid who you brought and made me draw as Krishna. Now I've become like this. I was the same kid. The world made me like this. And the story ends there. See, that is what happens. The world made a Krishna can become a Kamsa in 25 years. What I want to tell you now, the spark that I am getting now is the reverse is also possible. And that is what you aim at. The Kamsas can become Krishnas. Our whole journey, I feel, every day should be, there is always a higher version of us. There is a better version of us. There is a nicer version of us. There is a more glorious version of us. There is a more efficient version of yourself. And that's what you hit on this day. That is the true growth all about. It is not about your annual returns. It is not about the statistics there at all. It's about each one of us becoming better and better and better at what we do. And that is the true superpower we have. You have these Avengers, you have Iron Man who can jet back, he flies. You have Superman who can see through walls. What is the superpower you and I have? The superpower that we have is that we can change if we decide. I can't change you. There's no way you will change. I'll give you hours of lecture that you need to do exercise. Man, you need to be whatever. You will never do it unless you feel it. And the minute you feel it, I'll tell you, you will hit the gym like nobody can. And you'll never stop. Once you know the beauty of this transformation, once you know that this is going to help me, whether physically, in my career, in my personality, once it goes into your mind, the way you do things, the way you become better and better, you won't imagine, hey, what's this me 1 year back? Suddenly your company will say, I became a unicorn? What happened? How did this happen? Because that ticked in your mind and you said, okay, I'm going to be higher than what I was. I'm not Ramesh of yesterday. And you see me tomorrow, it's not Ramesh of today. Tomorrow's Ramesh is 100% better than today. In some way, some little way. And that is the whole travel about. So I've been telling people is that you decide consciously, you make a decision that I'll change and I'll change for the better. By better, I mean this is Kamsa becoming Krishna mode. Okay? In smaller ways, I'm not talking about big evils that we have. Small idiotic things that we do. Irritating. We know, man. Don't we know smoking is bad? It's not bloody every packet, yeah. We still do it. We know it's bloody madness. All of us do it. And we know, we are all idiots that way. We know this is right and we still don't do it. So many things, including myself. So the whole battle which I have been doing myself to this day, and I've been telling all these youngsters when I meet, is here's the chance, boys. Come on, please. Tomorrow's another day. Let's do it, yeah? There's a better version of me and I have to drag it up. Every day, every way, you know. In some way, become more intelligent, become more smarter. You should know the best thing about whatever work you do. Nobody should be able to challenge you in the kind of work that you do. I go to schools, I tell them, don't even think big. They answer, I want to become, what's that? Abdul Kalam. How do I do it? My answer is very simple. I say, you're sitting on a bench, there are 3 of you here. Just look at those 3. That's all. Don't look at the whole classroom also. Who's the smartest guy here? You make up your mind, I'll be smarter than this guy. That's all. Who's the nicest guy here? I'll be nicer than this guy. Forget the rest. And then that's how it grows. From one bench, you become the classroom, and then it goes to school. The state is saluting you one day. And the whole nation is saying, who's this guy, man? It will happen automatically. So this competition, what I'm talking about, the comparing it, is not this, it is not jealousy, it's not, see, it's about being better and better in yourself. Because it's so what a fantastic, you don't know. I meet people, the kind of transformation I have seen. I went to Chikkalapur, okay, a small school, I've been there. And the teacher said, sir, this boy always comes late, sir. Late Latifah, sir. He comes at least half an hour late, sir. One boy, village guy. Then I called him on stage. I was wearing a very expensive watch that day. I just took the watch, I put on the boy and said, from tomorrow don't come late, beta. That's all I have. It was a very, very small gesture. To me, it was nothing at all. And then after 1 year, the teacher calls up and says, so the boy has never been late after that. It is not about the watch. It's not even about him. It's about the moment of attention that we gave that guy on that day. That's all it was. That guy was whiling away his life because he was not getting that. That is the only problem I see. You don't know. During COVID times, I've seen some really strong people, okay? Really strong guys who are very strong, I thought, who are going depressed. There was a friend of mine, you won't believe, he used to run out from his house for no reason at all. Some, I don't know, claustrophobia or what, he just went to the road and just looking like that. And he calls me and says, I'm not myself. I don't want to sleep because when I sleep, I feel I won't get up. I'll die. These are the guys who are so strong, about 1.5 years back. Suddenly I see this massive depression, people doubting themselves about crazy things which was never a problem before. Then all that finally comes down to, I'm not getting the attention that I deserve. Whether it's in my house, as a family member, as a brother, as a son, as a daughter, you are not giving me. I'm much greater, man. Please realize that's what everybody is screaming inside, I feel. The same thing is happening in the workplace. What do you think I am? I'm not a robot to follow all of the rules that you say. I have a mind of my own. That is the basic problem happening. You're not respecting my contribution. That is a huge problem I see. So when you attend to these small things, I'm not saying only about boss and what do you call it, assistant or whatever. Between colleagues, between your own things, That is where a small thing is, and if you establish that chemistry, give the other man his due, yeah, please. Whatever this girl is doing, you better, please, Pawan, right? Pawan! Remember TK, yeah? Give her a due, and you please give him his due. That's what I'm saying. See, the more you synergize, the more you guys grow, yeah. Please give credit to guys who do the work. You take credit for what you did. You deserve it, please. I will shout on the rooftop and say, this guy does amazing work, this bugger does. Please give him what he deserves. That basics, these small things, go a long way. What happens is, when you come to my age, then you realize, oh shit, I should have done it long back. I would have gone miles ahead, you feel. So these small things, if you can sort out, this will help. First thing, I don't know where I started going. Let me just rattle off. The other thing is, he was telling me that I should start talk about my initial days and how I think by entering into Kannada films, most of you know, or should I repeat it here? Go through it.
Yeah.
Okay, quickly. Go through it. So very small, quick thing is that I was doing a small gig on a stage like this in BM's college. There was a judge who was in radio. She liked me. She said, will you do it on radio? I said, okay, I did it on radio. Then somebody saw it and said, will you do it on TV? I said, okay, I did it on TV. That came on Deepavali day, and because of one program, I got 3 movie offers the next year, and I became a film actor. Then things went, this is Kannada. What happened in Telugu was even more crazy. My first film in Kannada called Sundara Suprangu, it released. In those days, all these guys from Hyderabad, Tamil Nadu used to come to Bangalore, have beer on Saturday, Sunday. This was the beer haunt for those guys. So these buggers have come all the way from Hyderabad, they had a good drink, and said, okay, let's go and see a Kannada film. Because the film here was supposed to be good. So the guys have come in a bit late. They missed the title card where they say introducing Ramesh. They missed that card. So they come see the film. For some reason they like my work. They assume that I'm a big star here. They didn't know it's my first film. So these guys call me and say, sir, my దగ్గర మాట్లాడాలి. I said, okay. I've just done one film, yeah. These guys have called me. They think I'm a star at that time. And then we're sitting in a place like this, and this is very opposite. This guy is saying, sir, you shouldn't think very bad. I said, what? So we can give you only 15,000 rupees. I'll give you 5,000 advance. For my first film, I got 1,500. And this burger is offering me 10 times. And he's giving, yes, come on, I won. And I'm a Telugu actor suddenly. I start doing films in Telugu. That happens. And then in Tamil, I did a Kannada film, Sundara Suprangu. There was an assistant director, so this guy was a unpaid driver, like. Because I was just first film, I'm listening to all that those guys are saying. And this guy wants to go and meet his aunt in Kormangala. He said, Ramesh, take me. I had a TS50 at that time. So I used to take him to Kormangala to see his auntie. He wants to go and shop in Burma. Like, hey, Ramesh, take me. I used to take him on a TS50. I was doing all this nonsense in Karnataka. That guy became a director suddenly in Tamil. And he had a problem with his hero. That hero was doing some natak and he wanted to throw him out. So he calls him and says, hey Ramesh, what do you want? I said, what? I'm doing a lot of Kannada films here. He said, no, 3 days you come. You do this work, then you go back, you give me whatever dates you want, I'll come and accommodate you. So I go to Tamil Nadu, I do 3 days, because Radhika was flying to US, whatever. I finish 3 days of work, I come back, then I give my dates later, I finish the film, I come back to Bangalore. That film becomes a silver jubilee hit. I go to Chennai, to the theatre. In the theatre, suddenly all the audience is lifting me and taking me all around the theatre and all that. And then I told my dad, something's happening here. I'm going to stay here in a hotel. I'll come back after 2 weeks. You won't believe it. In 11 days, I signed 14 films and I could come back to Bangalore. 7 years I was stuck in Chennai. So what am I trying to tell you? How did these things happen? See, this is how breaks come. It is not what you plot. It is not what you plan. It's amazing how it works. Now I know it's a break after 30 years, looking back. But this is how it comes. It comes out of the blue. Somebody offers something. You meet somebody in an elevator, you meet somebody in a coffee shop, he'll become your lifelong partner. And you do some terrific business together. Millions you do. You never know how it happens. So these guys, so what I'm saying is, why did the third guy call me? Why did the second guy call me? If you think about it, there's a very nice English line. See, you must jump at an opportunity. When do you know an opportunity will come? You don't know. You keep jumping all the time. So I'm saying is, you do whatever you do so well. Whatever you do. You don't know which part of you is going to click, who's going to do what. Never do anything half-heartedly. Never do anything, just like, no, there's nothing like this. Somebody is watching and that transforms into something else. which gives you a career. For 7 years I was in Chennai, man. I was in Chennai for 7 years. And then I came back to Canada later. So this is how it works. It works in a very, very interesting way. All these breaks work. So what I'm saying, that's the first break. But then, what happens is when I do my second film, the producer will call the first film guy. I say, how's this guy? Is it okay? Is he on time? Any problem with that guy? And that guy should, out of the heart, give a nice word about it. That's how the whole system works. They always like to know your backstory. People ask, how is this guy? Very casual, when a lot of things involved. Something like a movie is involved. I can't take risk on a guy. I always call the guy who has worked before and say, is the guy good? What are his problems? He has any issues? Is okay? Things like that. And the word spreads. The word spreads without your knowledge. Good, bad, everything spreads about you so well. With social media now, it's even more amplified. Everything that you do goes up so big. So what I'm saying is, do not take anything lightly. So how the rest of the film, that was only the first film, but then you do 100 films later. I've done 140 films now as a hero. 40 in Tamil, 100 in Kannada, about 12 in Telugu. How did all those happen? Those were not those chance things at all. Those were because of responsible conduct. That is what I'm trying to tell you. It's about responsible conduct. It's about doing your work so well. The best way that you can. See, you have constraints, okay? I'm doing a film called 100 now. I've done it my best, as far as I know. Limited constraints, I had budget problems. Probably give more budget to make a bigger action scene. That's not done it, but that's different. Considering the constraints, nobody should point a finger and say, you could have done better, boss. About anything I'm saying, anything. Even when you send a message on SMS, no, you know there's a spelling mistake. Don't let it go here, please. Small things like that, from small things like that to the biggest things you do, make it the perfect that you can at that particular time. You yourself know you can do a better version of it. No point in perfecting things which don't demand so much of perfection. I'm not talking about that. There's a certain limit of time, there's a certain limit of energy that you can give something. Don't go beyond that. You'll become stupid anyway, you know. Waste your time on silly things and perfecting which doesn't matter. But when it matters, make sure it is the best that you can. This is the second thing I'm telling you from my own story. First thing I'm telling you is choose to be better every day. The better version of yourself, the higher version of yourself. Second is do the best in whatever you can. That's the most important thing. The third thing which I want to share today, because the name is Wolf. The first, I think what is the wolf story I've heard? The first wolf story is all of us heard is Wolf, right? There's a guy who says Wolf, and then villagers come and he's done a prank. Again he says Wolf, again they come, he's done a prank. Third time the real wolf comes, he screams, nobody comes. It's a fabulous model. Don't take your reputation lightly. Please, don't take it. Do not play pranks with the reputation. People must trust you. Please do not play with trust of people. Don't take it lightly at all. It's going to be so costly for you. In everything that you do, whether it's your Wolf as a brand or yourself as a brand, each one of you is a brand, let me tell you. Wolf is a company that you work for. But individually too, each one of you is a brand. And it's your duty to build that brand. How do you build that brand? Ramesh Aravind is a brand now, right? What is the, people ask me, what is marketing? How do you market? Everything you do is marketing. It's not just the money you spend on marketing. Everything you do, the costume you wear, the words you say, the way, what you're posting on Instagram, what are you posting on Facebook? It's all marketing your brand. You're sending messages to the world. This is me. This is me. This is how ugly I am. This is how beautiful I am. This is how dirty I am. So please be careful. Without your knowledge, you're building a brand. Then it'll be too late to correct the brand. Everything you do is a part of your marketing. So please take it carefully about the wolf. The second wolf story I heard. Because what I keep telling you is, what is success? What is success? See, they say, it opened the door of success to me. There is no door of success, honestly, please. There is no single door of success. In Kannada film, there's what Srinivasa Kalyan. When Srinivasa is sleeping like that, one door opens, another door will open, another door, 7 doors will open. In the end, Vishnu will be sleeping there. That's how it is. This man will trust you and give you the job. You do it so well, say, my God, this chick is damn good. I'll give her another job. The second door opens. You do that job so well and the boss says, this guy is terrific, man. Please give him a higher responsibility. His shoulder can take much more. It's not one of those weak shoulders. It's a pretty gym body. give him much more. And he gives you a bigger responsibility. That's how you build layers and layers of trust. And finally you think, how did I become successful? That's all you did. You delivered, boss. You delivered what was expected of you. That's what we want. I don't want an assistant director. I have such a problem all the time. I give a job to him for a sense aspect. I have to look at the English and see if it is connected. What the hell, yeah? Please, you're supposed to do it. I don't want to supervise every 2 minutes and say, what are you here for? You're paying you, right? When you're getting paid, you're doing free for me, goodwill fine was. You're paid, right? Better justify the salary, whatever salary you're taking. So I'm saying, without supervision, if you can do the job that is trusted to you, you can probably say, this boy delivers, man. And that's all matters. That's how you grow. That this guy, I can trust him with the job. That is a nice guy to deal with. That can come along with nothing like that. It's a fabulous combination. So, these are the things that I felt like saying right now.
Wonderful.
The other wolf story again. This is another wolf story I should tell you. I was in seventh standard.
I'm going to
Then I'll tell you about the Rome story, where it was in 7th standard history book, where you know about the wolf. Rome was found by 2 twins. Okay, these twins were found orphaned. The she wolf takes them, gives them milk, nurtures them, and those 2 guys find home. So what I'm saying is, if you nurture the right talent, you can build empires. That's what wolves is all about. So more power to you. Nice meeting you all.